Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Sinan Academy. This is lecture number 3 for my video lecture series on transformer. In this video lecture, we will understand the concept of per unit values. We will also understand how this concept of per unit values can be utilized for the analysis in transformer. We use per unit values concept in power system at large, and we also use the concept of per unit values in different machines, like in induction machines also we use the concept of per unit values, in synchronous machine also, and in transformer also we use the concept of per unit values. So let us understand the concept of per unit values. Okay. So a per unit value is defined as the ratio of actual value in any unit to the base or reference value in the same unit. So if you want to write the per unit value of any quantity, it will be equal to the actual value in any unit or in that unit divided by the base or reference value in that same unit. Okay, for example, let us consider if we need to write the per unit value of the current. So the per unit value of the current I per unit will be equal to current in amperes divided by the base value of the current in amperes. Okay, let us take an example to understand that. For example, if we have a current of 5 ampere and the base value of the current is 20 ampere. We will discuss what is this base value also, okay, later on. So base value of the current is 20 ampere. So per unit value of this 5 ampere current will be equal to 5 divided by 20, which will be equal to 0.25 per unit. Okay. So a very important thing to be noted here, that if you write the per unit value of any quantity, it will be dimensionless, because we are dividing the value of the quantity in a given unit to the base value of that quantity in the same unit. So the units get cancelled. So the per unit value of that quantity will be dimensionless. So this is one of the advantage of using per unit system. Okay, so there are two main advantages of using this per unit system. These are, the first one is the different parameters of machines or power system lie roughly in the same range of numerical values. We will see later on that the numerical value in per unit system and the per unit values of different parameters or any system lie under a very narrow range. Just say, for example, the numerical values of different parameters lie under the range of 0 to 3. Some value will be around 1, some value will be around 2, and so on. So there will be a very narrow range of numerical values. So this is a great advantage. And the second advantage is very important. It is related to the transformer, and that is the equivalent impedance of any transformer is the same when referred to the either primary or secondary side. That is, if we have the per unit value of the impedance of the transformer, so if you refer it to the primary or you refer it to the secondary, the value of the per unit impedance will remain same. It means it's a very convenient to use per unit value in transformer. You don't need to refer it to any of the sides. Okay, so these are the two main advantages of using per unit system. Okay, now we will understand how this per unit concept can be used for the analysis purpose in transformer. Okay, so let us understand that. So we can write the resistance in per unit value as R equivalent to the Z base. One very important point to be noted here is that how to choose base value. These base values are chosen arbitrarily. Generally, these base values are rated value. Suppose we need to choose the base value of a 10 kVA, 11 kV on 440 volts transformer. So for this transformer, the kVA base or S base will be 10 kVA, and V base for the primary side will be 11 kV, and V base for the secondary side will be 440 volts. So generally, this is the primary side. So generally, the base values are chosen as the rated values. Okay. For writing the parameters in per unit values, generally two base values are chosen. The first one is S base and the second one is V base. And the other base values can be derived from these two base values. For example, if we need to find out the Z base, it will be equal to V base square divided by S base. And if you need to find out the value of current base, it will be equal to S base divided by V base. So it's very convenient. So if you are going to work on per unit system, you need to choose only these two base values. And obviously, in any system in which you are working, the rated value will be the base values of S as well as V. Okay. So now let us move forward to understand this concept that we can use in transformer. So R per unit will be equal to R equivalent divided by Z base. Okay. Now this Z base can be written as V rated upon I rated, because Z base is, we can write Z base as V base upon I base. Okay. And V base is actually V rated and I base is actually I rated value. So we can write Z base is equal to V rated upon I rated. Okay. Now if we rearrange these values, we'll get R equivalent into I rated upon V rated. Now if you look closely, what is this I rated into R equivalent? This is the voltage drop across the equivalent resistance at rated current. Rated means full load current. So we write this I rated into R equivalent as full load resistive drop. So this R per unit will be equal to full load resistive drop divided by rated voltage. And we know that this full load resistive drop will be in voltage. So if this voltage is divided by the rated voltage, it will be in per unit now. So we can write this R per unit as full load resistive drop in per unit. Okay. Now if you multiply this equation by I rated, you will get in numerator as I rated square into R equivalent, and in denominator we have V rated into I rated, which is equal to the S base. So what is this I rated square into R equivalent? It is the rated copper loss or full load copper loss or copper loss at rated current. So we can write it as full load copper loss divided by S base. Now full load copper loss is a power loss, and this power is not divided by the base value of the power. So it will be represented in per unit. So we can say this R per unit will also be equal to the full load copper loss in per unit. So this resistance in per unit is equivalent or equal to full load resistive drop in per unit and or full load copper loss in per unit. Okay. In the similar manner, if we write X per unit, it will be equal to X equivalent upon Z base, and similarly and so on, we can write V rated upon I rated in place of Z base, and if we rearrange the quantities, it will be equal to X equivalent into I rated. So it will be the full load or rated reactive drop or drop across the equivalent resistance reactance. So we can write full load reactive drop divided by rated voltage. Again, the reactive drop is voltage and we are dividing it by base value of the voltage or rated voltage. So it will be in per unit. So it will be full load reactive drop in per unit. So we can say X per unit will be equal to full load reactive drop in per unit. Again, if you multiply this equation by I-rated by I-rated, we obtain I-rated square into X equivalent divided by S base. Now this I-rated square into X equivalent will be the full load reactive loss divided by S base. So this can be written as full load reactive loss in per unit. So R per unit is full load resistive drop in per unit and full load copper loss in per unit. And X per unit is equal to full load reactive drop in per unit and full load reactive loss in per unit. In similar manner, if you write the Z per unit, you will get it equal to the full load impedance drop in per unit and also full load apparent power loss in per unit. Okay, and we will use this concept to analyze the transformer, okay, for the analysis purpose in transformer. Now let us see some of the quantitative values of resistance per unit and reactance per unit in transformer. These are some of the tentative values. For example, R per unit in case of transformer is around 1% or 0.01 per unit, and X per unit will be around 0.1%, 0.10 per unit or 10%, and the resistance representing the core loss RC in per unit is around 100 per unit, and magnetizing reactance in per unit is around 25 per unit. These two values are high. Let us understand why these two values are high in per unit values. Okay. So for that, let us first understand why this RC is high in per unit value. Core loss is equal to V square upon RC, and V is constant for a transformer. That is, it is around rated value. So for rated value, the per unit value is 1. How it is 1? Let us check it out. For example, we need to write the value of voltage in per unit, and the voltage is rated value. So V rated upon, we write V base, and V base is generally chosen as the V rated value. So it will be equal to 1. So the per unit value of any rated quantity is always 1. So in this case also, the rated value of V is 1, and we can now find the value of RC. So the RC will be equal to here 100 per unit. In the similar manner, if you find the value of X phi in per unit, it will be like this. We know that applied voltage or induced voltage V1 is equal to I phi, which is the magnetizing component of no load current, into X phi. And obviously the rated value of voltage is 1, and I phi, we know that the no load current is around 4 to 5% of full load rated value. So the per unit value of this current will be around 0.04, because it is 4% or 5%. So 4% is 0.04, 5% is 0.05. So we have taken 4%, for example. So X phi is now calculated as X phi is equal to 1 upon 0.04. So it will be equal to 25. So you can now see these are some tentative values. So now you can see why these two values are higher as compared to the R per unit and X per unit. So this is all about the concept of per unit values. Now we will solve one numerical problem to understand how we can use this per unit value concept in transformer. Okay. Now let us solve the numerical problem now. So the question says a 10 kVA 2000/200 volt 50 Hz single phase transformer working at rated voltage at no load takes an input of 125 watt at 0.15 power factor. So under open circuit condition, that is no load condition, the power that is consumed by the transformer is POC, it is 125 watt, and the power factor at this condition was phi naught at open circuit, it is 0.14. Okay. Its percentage leakage impedance based on its own kVA is 0.5 plus J1 into 10 to the power minus 2. It is given in per unit. So Z per unit is 0.5 plus J1 into 10 to the power minus 2 per unit. Now if transformer delivers 10 kilowatt at 200 volt at 0.8 lag on its LV side. So now it's given in the question that load is connected on the LV side, that is at 200 volt. So the primary side will be 2000 volt. Okay. Now then determine the input power in per unit and input power factor. So we need to calculate two quantities, input power, that is P1, it is we need to calculate it, and the second one is input power factor, that is cos I1. These two things we need to calculate. Okay, so let us solve this question now. So for solving it, first we need to understand how we can find out P1 and cos I1. P1 can be calculated by calculating the input voltage V1 and input current I1 at loaded condition. So at loaded condition, we need to calculate primary current I1 as well as the input voltage P2. So for that, first we will analyze the circuit of the transformer at no load. So at no load or open circuit condition, how the transformer looks like. The secondary side is open circuited, so primary side is only connected. So we can draw equivalent circuit like this. That is the shunt branch only. We neglect the series branch because the secondary side is open. I2 dash is 0. So this is the current and open circuit case. Okay. This is RC and this is JX5. So this is the impedance ZOC. And this is the applied voltage VOC. And it is given in the question at no load, the voltage which is applied to the transformer is rated voltage. So this is rated voltage. This is V rated. And what is the rated voltage? This is the primary voltage. So this is 2000. Okay. So in per unit, we write it as VOC in per unit. It will be 1. Okay. Now, how we can calculate this IOC? This IOC will be equal to, the magnitude of IOC can be calculated as, it is POC upon VOC into cos phi at open circuit condition. So we need to calculate this IOC in per unit. So let us change the value of POC in per unit. For changing the value of POC in per unit, first we will define base power. So base power is based in this condition will be the rated value of the transformer, and that is 10 kVA. So we will take S base as 10 kVA. So POC in per unit will be equal to 125 divided by 10 into 10 to the power 3, 10 kV. So 10 kV, so it will be equal to 0.0125 per unit. So now we can calculate IOC in per unit, no load current at open circuit condition. It will be equal to POC is 0.0125 divided by VOC is in per unit is 1 and cos phi is 0.15. So it will be equal to 0.083 per. Okay. So now we can calculate this impedance at open circuit condition, that is ZOC. So in open circuit condition, let us calculate the impedance. So in open circuit condition, the impedance will only be the impedance of the shunt branch. So this will be the impedance of the shunt. So ZOC is equal to VOC divided by IOC angle cos inverse 0.15. Why it is 0.15? Because the no load power factor is given. The power factor at no load is 0.15. So the angle will be phi naught OC. So it will be, I am writing this like this VOC in phasor form, VOC upon IOC. Okay. So VOC is VOC angle 0 degree. We have taken it as a reference. Divided by IOC, the magnitude, and angle, since at no load, the power factor is always lagging. So we write it's minus cos inverse 0.15. So it will go up and it will be cos inverse 0.5. So this will be the expression. So now put the values of VOC and IOC. VOC in per unit is 1 and value of IOC in per unit is 0.083 angle cos inverse 0.15. So it is coming out to be 12 angle 81.37 degrees. Okay. So this is in per unit. So we have calculated the shunt impedance. is equal to 12 angle 81.37 degree. Okay. Now let us analyze the circuit at loaded condition. So for that, let us first draw the equivalent circuit diagram referred to primary side at loaded condition. So we are drawing the equivalent circuit diagram, approximate equivalent circuit diagram of the transformer referred to the primary side. So this is the circuit diagram at loaded condition. So this is, we will draw the impedances now at the secondary side. So the voltage at secondary side is V2. So if we refer it to the primary, it will be V2 dash. And this is the Z per unit. And it is given in the question, it is 0.5 plus J1 into 10 to the power minus 2 per unit. And Z per unit, we have already seen that this is the advantage of per unit system, that Z per unit is, if Z per unit is given, no need to refer it to primary or secondary. Because if you refer it to primary or refer it to secondary, it will remain same. The value of Z per unit will remain same. So whether you are referring the circuit diagram to the primary or secondary, the Z per unit will remain 0.5 plus J1 into P to the power minus 2. So here we are referring this circuit diagram to the primary side. So Z per unit will remain same. It will be 0.5 plus J1 into P to the power minus 2. Now this will be the applied voltage V1. This is at loaded condition. So now in this condition, the current at this branch will be I0, and this is the I2 dash, secondary load current referred to primary side, and this is the primary current I1. So now from this diagram, you can calculate the value of I1 and V1. So what could be the value of I1 now? I1 will be equal to I2 dash plus I2. And how will you calculate this V1? If you apply KVL in this loop, you can calculate V1. V1 will be equal to V2 dash plus I2 dash into Z per unit. Okay. So we will first calculate I1 and then we will calculate V1. So now let us calculate I1. For I1 we need I0 and I2 dash. So now how can we calculate I2 dash? We have the power connected at the secondary side. Means load power is P is equal to 10 kilowatt. It is given in the question. So let us convert it into per unit. So P in per unit will be 10 upon 10. It will be in kilo, it will be also in kilo. So it will be 1 per unit. Okay. Now, this power P in per unit can be written as V2 I2 cos phi 2. Also, it can be written as V2 dash I2 dash cos phi 2. Okay. Why? Because if you refer this voltage to the primary side, it will be A times of V2 and current will be I2 by A. So A gets cancelled. So it will be V2 dash into I2 dash. So you can write power in per unit form, whether it will be V2 I2 cos phi 2 or V2 dash I2 dash into cos phi. Now let us put the value of V2 dash to get the value of I2 dash. What could be V2 dash now? In transformer, the load side voltage remains constant and it is and it will be the rated value. So this V2 dash will be in per unit is 1. Okay. So V2 dash in per unit will be 1 per unit because it's the rated value of the voltage. So it will be 1 per unit. So now we can calculate I2 dash from this equation by putting the value of P per unit or V2 in per unit, V2 dash in per unit. Okay. So now let us calculate the value of I2 dash. So I2 dash will be equal to P in per unit is 1 divided by V2 dash in per unit is 1 and cos phi 2 is 0.8 angle minus cos inverse 0.8 because it is given the power factor is 0.8 lakh. So it will be around 1.25 angle minus 36.86 degrees. So it will be 12. So the secondary current referred to primary side is I2 dash and its value is 1.25 angle minus 36.86. Now we got this I2 dash. Let us now calculate the value of V1. So what is the value of V1? It will be equal to V2 dash plus I2 dash into Z per unit. V2 dash, we have already seen it, it will be 1 and it will be the reference value. So it is on angle 0 degree plus I2 dash. I2 dash we have calculated it is 1.25 angle minus 36.86 degree. And Z per unit, it is given in the question, it is 0.5 plus J1 into 10 to the power minus. So if you solve this value, you will get the V1 as 1.0125 angle 0.358 degree. So you got the value of V1 now. So as you get the value of V1, you can now calculate the value of I0. From the circuit diagram, if you see, what would be the I0? I0 will be equal to V1 upon Z open circuit. Because the shunt impedance we have already calculated from no load data or open circuit data, it is 12 angle 81.37 degree. Now let us calculate this no load current at loaded condition or current at shunt branch under loaded condition. So that will be I0 will be equal to V1 on ZOC. So V1 is 1.0125 angle 0.358 degree divided by ZOC is 12 angle 81.37 degree. So it will be around 0.08438 angle minus 81.02 degree. It will be incorrect. So we got the value of I0. We have the value of I2 dash. So we can calculate the value of I1 now. So what will be the I1? I1 will be equal to I2 dash plus I. So I2 dash, we have already calculated it. What is the value of I2 dash? It is 1.25 angle minus 36.86 degree. And value of I0 is, just we have calculated 0.08438 angle minus 81.02 degree. So if we solve it, we will get the value as 1.31186 angle minus 39.44 degree. So this is the primary current I1 under loaded condition. Okay. Now we got the value of V1 as well as I1. So now we can calculate the value of input power. So for getting input power, let us calculate S input. Okay. We are calculating the input power. For input power, let us calculate S input. It will be V1 into I1 asterisk. So what is V1? V1 we have just calculated. It is 1.0125 angle 0.358 degree, and I1 is 1.31186 angle minus 39.4 degree. Okay. So we get S input as the form, it will be 1.32825 angle 39.798. Okay, so let us change it into A plus JB form so that we can get P and Q. So if we change this value into A plus JB form, it will be 0.0205 plus J 0.8501. Okay, so this will be the P and this will be the Q, and obviously this is input, so this will be input power P and this is input power Q. So we have to calculate only P, so this will be the value of P in per unit. We will change it in kilowatt hours. So P input now will be in per unit, it will be 1.0205. So if we change into kilowatt, so we multiply it with the base value. So P input will be equal to P in per unit multiplied by S base. So P in per unit is 1.0205 and S base is 10 into 10 to the power 3. So it will be around 10.205 kilo. And also we can calculate input power factor now. So input power factor will be, so this will be the angle or phase difference between voltage and current. Okay, 39.798. So power factor will be cos of 39.798. So it will be coming out to be 0.7684, and it will be lagging. Why it will be lagging? Because in S, if you write S is equal to S angle phi, so this phi means the angle is lagging. If it is minus phi, means it is leading. So here it is coming out to be positive, that's why it's lagging. Okay. So now we have calculated the input power and input power factor. Okay. So this is how we solve problem based on per unit values. Thanks for watching my videos on YouTube.